This is Idiots with Opinions. Idiots may vary.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special Christmas edition episode of Idiots with Opinions. My name's Tuscan, and with me, as always, is Todd. It's Todd. I was going to introduce you, but I guess you've taken care of that.
Yeah, I need no introduction.
Oh, okay. What are you, Michael Jackson all of a sudden?
Yeah,
from rising
everyone
on the
knows.
stage.
It's me. Everyone comes here to listen to Todd on Idiots with Opinions.
It's the Todd Show.
The Todd Show.
We're
Toddcast.
rebranding. We're rebranding in 2019, going just with the Todd Show while I go off and do more important things.
Shout out to listener Kubi for wanting us to make it a Toddcast.
The Toddcast. We should copyright that phrase, honestly.
Yeah.
Before it's too late. You know, once we grow huge and international, and we have like listeners in Japan who are
it might already be too late. Who knows?
About us.
Making anime about us.
Yeah. You know what? I want to get to that point where we get like fan art all the time.
Like
you know
weird
yeah.
fan fiction fan art.
Exactly. Like ones where they draw us in all sorts of strange situations and stuff like that. Maybe make cartoons from our voices. That'd be fun, right?
Yeah, that would be fun.
We're gonna launch into some cool stuff today. Todd and I have some Christmas-related stories. My story is less of a story and more of a top 10 list, but we're gonna do some Christmas stories, kind of talk about Christmas a little bit, and maybe reflect on the year, kind of talk about next year, see what's going on.
2018. Yeah, I actually have two stories, and I have a sadder story and then just a story that I think I could get more anger out of the both of us and get us to express our idiotic opinions. So,
well, I like to express anger, if you don't know that about me already.
Yeah, you're a very
one of my
angry
favorite
person.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows.
Well, that's true.
You know who's not angry?
Who's that?
Kris Kringle, Santa Claus himself. He brings Christmas
jolly.
cheer. He's a jolly old fellow. But here's a story from Russia. There's a guy who was 67 years old, and he was,
okay.
I guess he must have been Santa Claus, Russian Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He was hanging out with these children at this school-related Christmas party. And he was singing and playing with the kids, being all happy and jolly. And then he had a heart attack and died.
Wow. That'll get you.
And no one took his coat and took the mantle of Santa Claus. So right now we might be Santa Claus-less on Christmas Day.
On Santa Claus Day?
On Santa Claus Day.
What? So this guy, my God, he must have like ruined all of the kids' dreams.
Yeah.
Like if you think about, these kids think it's actually Santa Claus there, and they see him writhing in pain on the ground, and witness the death firsthand of Santa Claus. That would scar you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But it is also Russia, so I'm sure they would be scarred anyway.
Oh, sure. I mean, they've already killed by age 6. It's like a statistic in Russia. It's like 85%.
If you're 8 years old and you haven't stabbed like 3 people in your life,
No, you've strangled somebody to death in a gulag. But by the time you reach age 10 in Russia, it's kind of a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the Jewish do bar mitzvahs and the Russians do
gulag stranglings.
Some sort of murder celebration. That's when you become a man in Russia. AK-47. You're not allowed to hold one until you've already learned how to kill people with your bare hands. Especially if you kill a bear. I think that's okay as well. It's acceptable.
But remember that story? Just going back. Remember that story about that lady who just killed that? What was that? A mountain lion with her bare hands?
Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
It was, yeah. What was that? I can't remember if she...
I think it was a mountain lion. And she just had it in a headlock.
Mountain lion. Yeah.
Just
and
BA.
She didn't realize it was dead. Her son came out with a gun and shot it, like after she'd been strangling it for a while. But she like held it down to keep away from her granddaughter or something like that.
Yeah.
It was crazy people.
Wild.
Yeah, something like that. Well, so I've got something a little different here, Todd.
What do you got for me, Tuscan?
I've got a top 10 list. I wanted to branch out a little bit because it's a holiday special, and I don't know. There are no rules here. I'm in charge.
No rules. We are the law
Yep.
on our own land.
So I found a top 10 list of some Christmas traditions or Christmas facts from around the world, and I'm gonna share some of them with you. So
Please do.
The first one is less of a tradition and more of a fact. It is Santa's postal code. In case you were hoping to send letters to Santa, the postal code is redirects your mail to Canada, which is, I mean, it's pretty close to the North Pole. You know, when you say the North Pole, it's like, well, he just kind of lives in northern Canada.
Santa Claus lives in northern Canada?
Yeah, I would expect that of Santa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see
not in
it
the
like
Arctic, not on the actual North Pole. Realistically, lives in Canada.
Well, I mean, Canada is like half Arctic. It's within the circle, you know.
Not half.
Well, part. I think of it as all Arctic, to be honest with you. Like I don't imagine they get a ton of sun in the wintertime. It's just a barren wasteland of igloos and stuff.
Dude, we should go to Alaska.
Yeah, I'm always down for Alaska. I've always wanted to go. My brother went like years ago, and like with my grandparents, and I never got to. I don't know. I wasn't invited on that trip for whatever reason.
We should race in the Iditarod.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a brutal hellscape of terror to me.
No,
I think it'd be perfectly fine.
I think you could be the dog, and I could be the guy who rides on the back, and then you just pull us along.
I don't know if that would work out too well.
I feel
like we wouldn't go too fast. Anyway,
I think I would feel great about it.
Santa's
I'd have a
postal
great
code
time.
in Canada. Canada has like alphanumeric postal codes, right, with letters and numbers. So it's H0H0H0. So it's ho 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 is his postal code.
What?
Yeah. In case you were wondering about that, there is in fact a centralized address for Santa Claus if you want to send him a letter. So I don't know how these are set up. I don't know if number one is. I think these are just kind of out of order. It's just like 10 traditions. I don't think I'm counting down or anything like that. But next up, there is a Christmas log in Spain, in Catalonia, and they call it cagatillo, which literally translates to pooping log. And so you take this log and you've got like this little painted face on it, and I think like 12 days before Christmas or something like that, you get the log out and you put it in your living room, and then every night the kids will come out and feed it candy and stuff like that, and they're like singing to it, trying to get it to grow bigger. Over the course of a few weeks, the parents come in and like swap the log out for a bigger log, and so it looks like the log is growing. And then by the end of the week, it's like a fully grown log. By Christmas time, it's a fully grown log. And then they sing this song, which I don't know what the Spanish is for it, but it's the song lyrics translate to poop log, poop candy. If you don't poop well, I'll hit you with a stick. And then then the children beat the log with sticks until it is forced to poop out presents for them, with like nougat candy and coins and small toys. I know, right? It's
so weird. This has to be a special log because they can't. I mean, how do you get just candy stuffed inside a wooden log?
Well, it's hollowed out.
Yeah, but it would be way too easy. If you hollowed out a log pretty evenly, it's gonna be real easy to get that candy out. They don't have to beat it with sticks.
Listen, I don't know. I would venture to say that there is a Spanish company that sells these logs and makes bank annually from selling. They probably sell them in like Russian nesting doll form, and then you get like progressively larger logs. I bet you could buy like a set of 12 or whatever you need.
12 pooping logs. It's kind of like the Elf on the Shelf. It's just a fake tradition.
Yeah.
How long has this been going?
This doesn't say. I would assume forever. Just eternal. As long as the Spanish have been around. Of course, number 3, we've all heard of Krampus. From Central Europe. Parts of Austria, Germany, Hungary, some other countries, stuff like that. There is a Christmas demon known as Krampus. He has hair, horns. He's got like bull horns or something like that, some sort of antelope looking thing. And he's terrifying. He comes around and punishes children who are bad and puts them into a wicker basket and takes them straight to hell. That is the...
Yeah, it's very German.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where it's like, well, if you don't behave, Krampus is going to come and get you.
And take you straight to hell.
He's going to put you in his wicker basket and take you straight to hell. So behave yourself. So this started in the early 19th century. And today it's being co-opted in America. Krampus is making a comeback.
There was that one movie that came out a couple years ago, right? Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
With Adam Scott.
Adam Scott was in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
I never saw the movie. I just know.
Nope. It probably wasn't worth seeing.
No. I don't know what the market is on a horror movie coming out on Christmas Day. A Christmas-themed horror movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably there. Who knows?
I'm sure it did well. Like, I know a lot of people who went and saw it. But I don't know if it was... I didn't hear a consensus on whether or not people enjoyed it.
Dustin, do you know that there's 293 ways to make change for $1?
Is that what your Snapple fact just told you?
Maybe.
293 ways to make change for $1?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't surprise me. A lot of combinations of coins you can use. So we're moving on to Italy.
Yes.
We've got the Christmas witch in Italy. And they have Santa Claus there, but then they also
people in Europe have realized they've given up on trying to make it a magical experience for their kids, and they're like, well, we just don't want you screaming and yelling, so we're just gonna scare you into thinking you're gonna go straight to hell if you don't do what we say. I assume this is what the Christmas witch does as well.
So they have Santa Claus, but then they also have a witch that shows up, and her name is La Befana, which I think is literally just Italian for witch. And she flies by on her broomstick and delivers toys to children on January 5th, the eve of the Epiphany. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's a Catholic thing that is just flown right. Do you know what the Epiphany is?
That sounds familiar, but no, I'm not Catholic. I don't know what that is.
I'm not Catholic either. It's just anyway. She's a nice witch though. She gives more toys and candy to children, like a couple weeks after Christmas. So they get like double Christmas in Italy.
Huh? Oh, weird. Never mind. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
The Christmas witch is just a nice
right?
Thing. That's strange.
Yeah, I was surprised about that. Yeah, and I don't know why it would be like a double Christmas. Like you got to have 2 holidays with the Italians.
Yeah, who would have more than one day of giving presents? Pfft.
I don't know. It sounds expensive.
The Jews.
I can't get behind that.
Hanukkah.
Oh, are you making comments about Judaism?
No.
We should have done a Hanukkah episode.
Oh, sorry. Hey, welcome to a special episode. Hanukkah. Idiots with Opinions. Hanukkah. Tuscan, saying we're going to do the rest of the podcast in Hebrew.
Is that
real?
I'm sorry. Nope, that was probably really racist. Or anti-Semitic or whatever you want to say.
No, when you were telling me that the story of the Christmas witch, I was originally imagining that the Christmas witch would wait until January 5th to give them like some sort of bad omen, bad Christmas gift.
Right.
And so it'd be really
Christmas
funny.
Is over.
No, but it would be really funny if some of the kids would get Christmas presents from Santa, and then if they didn't get Christmas presents on Christmas, they would like, oh no, the Christmas witch is gonna come take me straight to hell in a wicker basket.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like a month later, and they're just dreading it the entire time.
Yeah, you know it the whole time.
Oh, yeah. So we're going back to the former Soviet Union with this next one. This is based on, it's from Ukraine. And this is number 5. So I think I'm going to read 5, and then I'll let you do your second story, and then we'll come back and do the last 5. Before we outro, you want to play it that way?
Sure. Well, I guess so, Tuscan. Whatever you want.
We'll just break up the traditions a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care.
So, in the Ukraine, they have spiders.
Really?
There's this. Yeah.
They have spiders here too.
Well, we don't have good luck Christmas spiders, and we don't decorate our Christmas trees with spider webs. So let me explain. This is based on an ancient Ukrainian legend, and there's this widow who has no money to buy like decorations for the Christmas tree. And so her children are like upset and crying. And after they go to bed that night on Christmas Eve, there are like these spiders that were hanging out in their hovel who in the middle of the night were like sympathetic to the children's dismay. And they went around and spun spider webs all over the Christmas tree. So in the morning, it was like this beautifully decorated tree with all these spider web ornaments and kind of looked like tinsel or whatever.
Yeah.
It was, anyway, so now spiders mean good luck on Christmas in the Ukraine.
It's like Charlotte's Web for a tree.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's exactly just Charlotte's Web. The story. I would imagine that's where. What's that guy's name who wrote that? It's like Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
Did he write Charlotte's Web?
Christoph Waltz wrote Charlotte's Web. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay,
You're
cool. Right. He's a talented man.
And the pig comes out and he says, Charlotte, what are you doing?
I do love me some Christoph Waltz, man. That was Django Unchained was by far his best role, but I did like him quite a bit. I mean, wasn't Inglourious Basterds his first like American role? His first major movie role, I think.
I don't know if it was his first major movie role. He definitely, it was a a big break for him.
But I don't think he'd ever done an American movie before. I think he was like a purely German actor, and then Tarantino found him in Germany and hired him for the.
That's such a good movie.
It is good. Inglourious Basterds is a classic, absolute classic. So is Django Unchained. They're both, I mean, like period pieces that take quite a bit of liberty with the period.
Yes,
and I mean they're fascinating stories on top of that.
It's kind of cathartic.
Yeah, I'd say so. Oh boy. All right, Todd. Well, I'm gonna take a break with these Christmas traditions. I got a few more to share with you, but I want to hear your anger-inducing Christmas story.
Anger-inducing Christmas story. So I mean, it's not like too infuriating, but there was
some rage.
There was this lady, and she left her kids who were 7 and 4 home alone, and they were watching Home Alone, which is a Christmas movie. So that's why I thought this was appropriate to talk about in our Christmas episode. And the cops showed up. It doesn't explain why, but I think they got called, the cops were called on them or something, and they didn't let the cops in, so they called their aunt, and the aunt let them in, and the cops showed up and realized that they were watching Home Alone. This article was really stupid. I just want to preface that.
Sure.
And they arrested this lady and took her kids away from her because she had left her kids at home. She's being charged with neglect.
How old were the kids?
7 and 4, which, yeah, they're a little young, but I just don't think that's enough for neglect.
Fair. I'm curious as to how long the mom was gone and how long the kids were left alone.
It didn't say, but it didn't seem like it was long from what the article was talking about.
Okay.
It was just like, oh, they were watching Home Alone. And it was I just want to rant about how awful this article was. It just started going into, like, half of the article was talking about this story, and then half of the article was talking about Home Alone. And it was saying, and we wouldn't want these kids to reenact the events of Home Alone. It's like, they didn't.
Yeah, nobody did.
Nobody
Why would
did.
the cops
like,
show up?
I don't know. I had so many more questions from this article, and I tried to look for other stories or other articles covering this, but it was just this one article that mainly covered it, and it was so poorly written. Journalists, dude. I also heard journalists were just placed on a list, a global list of, like, most dangerous countries to be a journalist in America. Yeah. Which
America's on the list?
Now. Yeah, first time this year.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's to the extent of, like, Syria, but...
No, or, like, China or Russia, where they could just, like, steal you and kill you and nobody'd say anything.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Saudi Arabia, obviously, where they just whack their own people when they feel like it. Not trying to get political here, but you shouldn't just kill journalists because of what they're saying.
That's an extremist view, Tuscan.
Is that a political opinion?
Definitely.
I don't think anybody should. I don't think any government should have a say in what I say. I'll say what I want, America. Come at me. How about that Macaulay Culkin though?
Yeah.
He's come back around. He had like a few years where he was hitting the champagne and
drugs.
pills sort of thing.
Oh yeah, he's kind of different now. You know how we had that one friend. I'm not going to say his name, but we had that one friend in high school who just kind of changed quite a bit after taking many drugs.
Absolutely.
I was thinking recently about how there was that time when I think we were freshmen.
Yeah.
And this person came up to us and drew on the back of my homework assignment an explanation of how everything related to the essence of an orange. He said, this is the universe, and he drew a big circle, and then in the middle he was like, and this is an orange, and this is where we all stem from. Yeah. Everything is
talking
circular. About how time is spiraling, and
he's like, well, time is a line. Everybody thinks of time as a line. Well, it's not, and it's not a circle either. That's not it. It's like a spiral, like a vortex.
That's why it's so hard to time travel. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's why nobody can figure out time travel, because it's a spiral and they don't understand. He was doing a lot of acid that year.
Yeah, and now he doesn't. He just kind of has that. He's very, very kind and nice, but it's like he doesn't understand as many social situations. Yeah. And I think that's the same with Macaulay Culkin now. If you see an interview with him, he's pretty. I don't think he's at that extent, but he's like very kind, but he just doesn't seem to like completely be down to earth.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what happens when you grow up as a kid that just tortures robbers, burglars.
Well, or you're given a lot of money as a child, and then you're a superstar as a child,
and then everyone wants to be in your personal business as you go through your awkward years.
Yep, I think that really screws people up.
I think it does too.
You know what else screws people up, Todd?
What does?
This Norwegian tradition coming out of Norway.
Well, I would assume so.
Well, I mean, could be Sweden. What's the difference? So there's a very superstitious deal with Christmas Eve in Norway. They kind of treat it as All Hallows Eve. With the Halloween and all that,
the Halloween and such.
Yeah, yes. It's like Norwegian Halloween, because they think that's the night when all the spirits come out to kill people or whatever they do. But what they do is they hide.
Completely accurate.
They have like specific roles for people, right? So all the women in Norway are tasked with hiding all of the brooms and mops in the house, so that rogue witches that come to Earth on Christmas Eve don't steal them and fly away and like wreak havoc on the rest of Norway.
What's up with witches and Christmas?
I don't know, but that's not all, because the men, while the women are hiding the brooms, the men go outside and like fire guns into the air to scare the witches away. Yeah, I'm not kidding. That is what happens. It's like on New Year's. Sometimes people do fireworks, or 4th of July people do fireworks. Norwegians are out there just like shooting guns into the air on Christmas Eve. Make sure
unloading an AK.
Yeah, right.
Scare away the witches.
It's like, screw your magic. I got this here Colt 45. Yeah. I mean, isn't that the most redneck thing you've ever heard in your life?
Yeah, and
amazing.
from
it comes out
Norway.
of Norway, right?
Norway is like a fairy tale place.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I imagine they believe in witches, but why with the gun? I don't know. You'd think they'd like make a potion, right? Or they'd like sprinkle like goat pee on there, and that would like fend off the witches. It's like keeping a bear out of your campsite. You got to put like coyote pee.
Paint sheep's blood
Is that how
on
it
their
works?
door frames.
Yeah.
Coyote pee? I would... From all that I know about biology, purely from the movie Jurassic Park, I know that if you have T-Rex pee, it will scare away everything else, but it will attract another T-Rex. And I think that's purely accurate. So...
Yeah. Well,
I think that coyotes would be the same thing. So if you want a coyote, if you think a coyote is better than a bear, then...
I know coyote pee does something. I don't know if it's fend off bears, but there's something you can fend off with coyote pee. Or
probably a disease. Probably like...
I bet if you drink it, you get superpowers.
That's probably right.
So in India, they don't have Christmas trees. They don't have like the evergreen fir trees that we use here in America to decorate, right? Because it's a very tropical climate. Mm-hmm. And only about 2% of the population there is Christian. The rest is mostly Hindu and Muslim and Buddhist. But that's still about 25 million people because India is so freaking huge.
Yeah.
So what the Christians there do on Christmas is rather than decorating a fir tree, they decorate a banana tree or a mango tree. And they look pretty nice. Cool. Yeah, it's like a nice little Hawaiian Christmas. So that's just kind of a
Hawaiian.
Cute
it's an Indian Christmas.
Well,
Tuscan.
It's not Hawaiian. It's tropical.
Yeah, it's a tropical Christmas. Trap hop Christmas.
So in Japan, there's been a long campaign that started decades ago by KFC to create their own tradition on Christmas, where you go out and you buy KFC on Christmas, and that's like fried chicken is the Christmas food rather than turkey or whatever is here. And I kid you not, they expect to sell, I think, I don't know if this is this year, but they sell about 250,000 barrels of chicken every year.
Wow.
Right. That is 5 to 10 times their normal monthly sales. So the boom of fried chicken on Christmas in Japan, like, bolsters up the KFC.
Do you know if the KFC, like the international KFC, is the same as the national KFC? Because I know, like in Russia, like Burger King is not the same Burger King here.
Right. I think there was definitely a thing with Burger King. I think it might have been.
That was during I remember a story about the reason why I know that is because the whole ad campaign for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Saying if you got pregnant from an Olympian, then you would get free Burger King for life.
Right.
And it was like not the same as National Burger King. They were like, we are not connected to those people. Those are completely different.
That is somebody else. Yeah, I know in Australia, Burger King is not Burger King. I think it's called Hungry Jack's or something like that.
Is it still owned by the same people?
It is, but there was like
top?
this one burger stand guy who had the name Burger King for his business, and he refused to give it up and like won a lawsuit or something. So Burger King is now called something else.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah, right? Fight for your rights, people.
Fight for your right to party.
I've got a couple more. This one's shouting out to Sweden. You didn't think we'd go back to Sweden, but here we are.
Yeah. I love me some Sweden.
So in 1966, this one's been going on for a long time. There's a 13. It says 13 meter tall, which I don't know what that is in feet. So it could be a freaking giant. I'm completely unaware. But I don't know. We're looking at like 40 feet here. It's this goat made out of straw. And at the stroke of midnight on Christmas Eve, the goat went up in flames because these vandals came and like burned it. And now every year it's a fight to keep the goat from burning down. And they keep rebuilding it, right? They keep like reconstructing this goat, but people come and try to burn it down every year. By 2011, this article claims this goat has been burned down 25 times. So the burning of the goat is like a whole tradition there, where they don't actually they don't want to burn the goat, but the goat very frequently gets burned down whether they want to or not. So it's always like I don't know.
That's kind of fun.
Maybe they place bets on it. Like if the goat burns to the ground, it's bad luck or good luck or something like that.
Or like somebody, like they're going to stop it from happening, but if somebody burns down the goat, like it's like a win for them. I don't know.
Everybody
That's kind of a
around.
fun thing.
Right. So this last one, number 10, comes out of the Philippines. 80% of the people there are Christian, so the Christmas is big there. And they have celebrations that last like the entire month of December into January and all that. I mean, it's like a big event. And kids there will leave their shoes and freshly washed socks and polished shoes out on the windowsills for the three kings to leave them gifts when they pass through the houses. So I don't know if it's in addition to Santa or instead of, but they have that on the Feast of the Three Kings. And so
you're talking about the three kings are like the three wise men.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think it's different in different translations or versions.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying like it's not like an instead of Santa thing. It's like
yeah. Right. It's much more like religious tradition. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like their version of stockings.
Yeah.
They just leave out their shoes and people come by and put stuff in the shoes. So that's kind of a fun one.
Stockings are weird, aren't they?
Yep.
It's like, hey, let's put a bunch of gifts in a sock and then give it to people.
I have this really brightly embroidered, like handmade stocking that was one of the most thoughtful gifts of all time from my grandpa's like second wife maybe. And he died in like 2008, like 10 years ago. And I never really knew her. But she gave us, me and my brother, both these really cool stockings. They're like, handmade and knitted or not knitted, but they've got like sequins all over them that make these really cool, elaborate pictures. It's like really artistic, but it's just like a strange relic from somebody I never really knew.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool deal. So those are all the Christmas traditions I have, Todd. You doing anything super special for Christmas every year?
My family likes to have a really nice meal.
Sure.
It's like the nicest meal we'll have all year. And then we also just shield ourselves from any other people. It has usually just been my immediate family and nobody else the entire day. Because that's just how my dad likes it. But I think this is different now. We have some family over this Christmas, so this Christmas is going to be a little bit different. We're breaking tradition. It's a little wild. Or a little unsteady.
Tradition.
Do you have any traditions for Christmas?
Not really. We talked about this a little bit last week, but it is a lot different not having like little kids around for Christmas.
Yeah. But you still like celebrate Christmas?
Oh, sure. I mean, we do all this stuff. We'll make eggnog, and we'll have a nice dinner tomorrow night.
Make eggnog? Eve. You make eggnog?
Yeah. You've never made eggnog?
Like homemade eggnog?
Yeah, with eggs and milk.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
I've never done that.
I'm gonna make this year. I'm gonna make butterbeer. This recipe I found online, and it's like actually a pretty decent alcoholic drink from what I heard. It's like a warm beer sort of cocktail thing. So I'm gonna try and make that either tonight or tomorrow night, and see how that goes over. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It might be terrible, but hey, we're all just here to have fun.
Hey, yeah.
So listen, I know we said we might do some reflection on 2018. Seeing as we've kind of gone over our normal time, I'm gonna cut that a little short by saying 2018 was dope. It was a lot of fun, and 2019 is gonna be even better because we're gonna be back at you mid-January.
We're gonna be back and better than ever.
Yeah, we're taking a short little hiatus, kind of relax for the holidays. Todd's gonna make some movies at school. I'm gonna practice for taking the LSAT, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna be refreshed. We're gonna be ready to go,
and then we're gonna have full seasons pretty much from here on out. Is our intention because I think we were just off to a start earlier this year. I mean, Idiots with Opinions just officially started this year.
Yeah.
We first recorded last spring break of ours. So, and we had just a few episodes for our first season, but I think we're gonna have probably like 20 or 25 episodes a season from here on
probably
out.
Not 25. There are only 52 weeks in the year, so
we'll
probably hit it around 20 and then take a short break for midsummer or something like that and come back at you the next fall. We'll figure that out as time comes closer, and we've got some cool projects.
We'll keep you updated on our social medias.
Yeah, we got some cool projects in the work for Volatile Studios as well. Some sort of audio based, and some maybe not.
Yeah, so if you're a fan of what we've been doing, there's going to be more than just Idiots with Opinions. We're going to diversify our content. It won't be for a little while, but it'll be coming at you.
Well,
so
and
keep an eye out for that.
the only way to know about it is to follow us on the social media. Check us out on Twitter at Opinions That Suck, SUK, and on Instagram we post almost every week with at Idiotic Opinions.
I think our intern has kind of dropped the ball on the Instagram for a little bit, but he'll get back on it, or I'm gonna fire him.
Well, he got deported for a while, so we've got to wait that out. Make sure get him back into the country or something like that.
Yeah, we can keep him there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But.
So and then also, if you want to send us an email, we'll be at studiosvolatile@gmail.com. Just check us out, see what's going on.
Say hello. Yeah. Give us a holiday wish, we'll give one right back to you.
That's right.
Give us some constructive crit.
As always, this episode's been sponsored by Carl Westberg, a shining father figure to both of us, and just a loving individual. Got just a pile of Christmas toys for boys and girls. Check him out, climbing down your chimney. Probably tonight. He doesn't usually come on Christmas because he doesn't want to run into Santa. Yeah. But Christmas Eve, that's when he'll be.
He does like crawling into people's chimneys and just hanging out for a while.
Sometimes he dresses up as Krampus, so be careful.
Yeah.
Just watch your back.
Yeah, well, I want to say thank you to all of our listeners, all of our support for this past year. We're really, really thankful that people are actually wanting us to continue talking about the idiotic things that we say. So thank you very much. I don't know, you have anything else, Tuscan?
Nope. Just wish you all a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you back
and a
here.
Happy holidays too.
In 2019. Unless you celebrate the Chinese New Year, in which case, I don't know what year it is. There's like a dog or something. So, that won't happen until mid-January. We'll be back before the Chinese New Year.
All right. Well, yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Is that where we're going to end it? Right? Just right there?
Sounds good to me.
You want a better ending?
Nah.
You've been listening to Idiots with Opinions. Tune in next week